Just going to leave sport there, cross over to Ed Miliband talking live in air in Scotland. Let's listen in.
As President of the STUC on Wednesday, I think we should all put our hands together for the brilliant job that June has done. Let's hear it for June, please, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to applaud Graham Smith, your General Secretary, for the work he does for championing the rights of working people, especially Scotland's young people. Please put your hands together for Graham Smith, ladies and gentlemen. And let me also say it is a privilege to speak to you for the first time at this gathering at a crucial moment for our country. Because throughout your history, you've represented working people across Scotland, and it is an honour to speak to you today. And the changes that have happened in our country, workers' rights, the welfare state, the NHS, the minimum wage, the Scottish Parliament, have been driven by your struggles on behalf of working people. Historic struggles, historic battles that have made the lives of working people better, fairer and more just, based on solidarity, common purpose and unity in our movement. And day in, day out, as we just heard, today's representatives of your movement are working for working people right across Scotland, in factories, in call centres, in the public sector, in the private sector, in small businesses, in large businesses, people who fight the fight for social justice and rights at work every day, unacknowledged. I congratulate you, and let us applaud the work that all the members of the STUC do today. Now, the STUC has always been an internationalist movement. So let me just say a few words before turning to the election about the international situation. I believe all of us have been shocked and appalled by the events in the Mediterranean. We cannot stand by as people drown in European waters seeking to escape conflict in Libya and Syria. It was wrong to end the search and rescue operations, and they should be immediately restarted. We must recognise our humanitarian responsibility. If I was Prime Minister, I would be working with other European leaders to act. Our country is known throughout the world for our generosity of spirit. It's time to reflect that and take action in the face of this terrible tragedy. Now, friends, for the people you represent, Scotland and the United Kingdom faces a big choice. A big choice just like you have throughout your history, about whether we have a government that stands up for working people once again in our country, or whether we have a government that stands up for the richest and most powerful. A choice between a conservative vision of the way the country succeeds, based on the idea that as long as we look after the richest in our society and let the wealth trickle down to everyone else, then everyone will be okay. Or a different idea, a Labour idea, an idea rooted in your history as a movement and in the everyday lives of the working people of Scotland. And it's a simple idea. It's the idea that it's only when working people succeed that Scotland succeeds. And at this election, just like previous generations, we give expression to what it means today. Let me tell you what we're going to change about this country in the fight for equality and social justice, the fight that never ends. Nearly 20 years ago, we introduced a minimum wage to end the worst of exploitation. Pay rates of 50p or £1 an hour. We ended that exploitation together, but that's not good enough for me, because there is still poverty pay despite a minimum wage. I will not tolerate that in the country I lead. So we will raise the minimum wage as a proportion of average earnings by 2019 to its highest ever level, to more than £8 an hour. We will write the next chapter in the fight against poverty pay in our country. 100 years ago, you fought for basic rights at work because you saw people would turn up at the dockyards and the factories not knowing whether there was work for them that day, and you knew it was wrong. Yet still today, we have a country with Victorian working conditions in the 21st century. We never thought we would see it again, but we do. And I think everyone here knows what I mean. A text message at 6 a.m. to tell people on a 0 hours contract whether they have work. I will not tolerate.
Apologies, we've lost the line there to Ed.